This is your typical front dash camera footage, but wait, check this out. There's also a side camera, and of course the rear camera. This is the AKEEYO mirror dash cam with a 360-degree camera built into the mirror, along with a side camera and a rear camera. In this video, I'm going to show you what's inside the box, go over how to set up and install the dash cam, go over the menu settings and show you all the different camera angles, then show you real life test footage, and at the end, I'm going to tell you what I think of this product. So stay tuned and enjoy this video. Taking a look at the top here, we've got the USB, which is for the power. We've got the AVN 1 and we have an AVN 2. So one of these will be for the rear camera and the other one would be for a side camera. And we've got a micro SD card. It is a 32 gigabyte. Let's put that back in before I lose it. And then we've got the GPS plug here, right? So that kind of sums up what's in the top. We've got some cooling vents. And we've got the rubber bands, as they call it. In the back here, we've got more cooling vents in the back here with a reset button. Okay, so this is the original mirror. So it's just gonna go right over it like so. And the 360 camera on the bottom there will capture everything. Okay, so mounting the mirror wise, it comes with two different kind of straps. So we've got the larger one and it comes with the shorter ones. So depending on the size of your mirror and your vehicle, they give you two different options. So for my vehicle, since my mirror is a little bit smaller, I'm gonna go with the smaller straps here. Taking a look at the 360 camera. So you can see the motion. The maximum range is here, right? And then it does go forward by that much. Okay, so one good habit is that before you start tucking in all the wires and securing everything, you want to run a bench test. So basically what that is you want to just plug in everything, make sure everything is working properly. Okay, so let's start the car. All right, and we have the AKEEYO logo and looks like it's up and running. All right, so now we know that the dash is working and we see the 360 camera. Okay, and then we also know that the GPS is working because we have a green GPS logo symbol here that's lit up green, meaning we're connected, and also because it tells us our speed. I do like the design of this mirror. It's more of a rectangular, keeping it more original to your car. It's actually quite heavy. It's got a good weight to it. Okay, so this is the side camera. There are two options with the side mirror. There is a black version and a silver. This again goes into probably AV1 or AV2. So now I'm gonna plug in the side camera. And boom, we are connected with the side camera. So now as you can see right off the bat already, we have this 360 camera is giving off 4 different angles here. And then we have the side camera as well. So you do want to find a flat surface. Okay, so I just installed the side camera just temporarily for now, just for testing, but I just plugged it in and let's see how it looks now. And we have the 360 camera, we have the rear camera, and we have the side camera. Perfect. So maybe if I tap this, we have a clear view of my wheel and the side, which is pretty interesting. So this would really help when you are again parallel parking and parking next to a curb, so then you know how close you are to the curb. We've also got the 12-volt power adapter. It runs on the USB. Okay, we've got the GPS unit here. For the GPS unit, I'm going to be installing this on my dash and running it along the headliner and into the mirror as well. The pillar all the way up around and into the mirror right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over the menu system here with you. I'm gonna turn it on first. So you can see the boot up time from the logo, which is now. And it shows this like split screen view before it actually goes back to your previous setting. So this is actually my setting right now. I'm just gonna go over everything with you. So on the camera here, we have the date and time, and we've got the blinking red light, meaning that it is currently recording. We've got the time, the date, the kilometers, your speed. It's in kilometers right now. You can change that to miles per hour. And we are facing north direction, and we've got a satellite lock, which is green. If it's still looking for the satellite, it will be a red color. All right, so you can see how fast that actually got the signal. Okay, so now if you just tap the screen once, you can see there's a record button. There's a take a photo mode. We can lock the screen. We've got settings, and we've got the different viewing modes, right? So let's stop the recording. Okay, so now we've stopped recording. We can take a picture, and if you want to record, right, for some reason you want to stop it, that's how you stop it. If you want to start recording, right? Now we're recording. I'm going to stop it right now. We're going to take a photo as well. And here we can view, go back to our playback, and we can see here. You see this logo? That's the X is in the front, meaning this is going to be the front view. This is going to be the rear view files, right? It's going to be the side views, and these are all the pictures that you've just taken, right? So for example, if the one that I just took should be the first one here, right? So that's the back. So for each, so you see how it's numbered, it's letter A, B, and C. That means camera A, B, and C. So anytime it takes a picture, it's taking a picture from all 3 different cameras at the same time. And then when you view the videos, if you put your memory card into your computer, it's going to separate into 3 different files, folder A, B, and C, each folder representing a different camera angle. So you can see the front is all A's, right? So for me, you can hear the audio as well. But for me, the A is the 360 camera. You can see it watching right here. And then the B, all the B files. Just play the first one. All right. So the B for me would be all the side camera views. All right. Okay, so maybe you can adjust it. You can only adjust it while in playback mode on the computer. So and then angle C. All right. Oh, it says all C's. I just pick one. Camera C would be the back, the rear. Right. So let's pick one where I'm actually driving. You can see. Okay. So we can play back the rear camera, which is for me camera C. All right. So now back. Right. So that's playback mode. I'm gonna go back here. We have these settings, camera settings, and we've got the unit settings. So under camera settings, we can choose the screen brightness, low, medium, high. We have a G sensor, low, medium, high, or off. Video frequency, so we've got 50 hertz and we've got 60 hertz. And then you can choose to record the voice either on or off. And we can do mirror mode. So these are all the different cameras we can do. The rear camera can be mirrored on or off. Side camera can be on or off, depending on your own personal preference. And I guess it times out there. So let me stop recording that first. Okay, go back to here. Okay, we've got this screensaver, which basically turns off the screen after a certain amount of time. So we can choose 1 minute, 2 minutes, or off. And as for me, I like it off and like to use the rear camera while I drive. Now we get to the mirror settings. We can choose the language. We've got English, Japanese, Chinese. I'm gonna change that because I don't want to get it resetted. Okay, we've got the time zone. On the display, we can choose speed, direction, and clock, which is what I've chose. You can choose speed only, clock only, or off. And then the speed on the mirror, I have it in kilometers, but as I said before, you can change it to miles per hour. System settings, you can format it, or format and factory. Yeah, system settings, and then this is my software version, this. Okay, and that's kind of it for the settings. It's actually not too much in terms of settings, but yeah, that's kind of what you have in the settings. Now, if we go back here, we can go into the different camera modes. All right, so pressing the last toggle here will get you into camera modes. Okay, so for number 1, so you have camera modes 1 to 6, right? So different camera modes. I'm going to show you each one here. Number 1 would be 360 camera. Please move the camera forward, right? So I'm going to move it forward. Okay, so that goes all the way up forward, and you can see here this camera here is showing my hand all the way up in a 360 degree of the car, almost 360 degrees. So you see the left window and the right window, and then you've got the back camera and you've got the side camera, right? Okay, so we're gonna do view number 2. Please move the 360 camera down. Okay, we're gonna move it down. Right, so this is the second view. Right, so you can see behind us, move it around, but that's kind of the highest I can go, right? But it is more if you want to look of more of an interior view here of the car. Okay, now let's switch over to camera view number 3. So for number 3, you can see the left side of the car, the right side of the car, and the side camera. So for the side, so for this middle camera, you can easily swap the middle by just kind of unplugging and plugging in the side and rear camera, where you can just swap it. They're interchangeable, and basically this will become the rear camera. So it really depends on your personal preference. But here you can see how you can like just change this and this as well, right? So if you want to see the left view, and then here you can see the right view, but really not sure why you would use this unless you're doing Uber or whatever, etc., and you can want to see your passengers. Okay, and let's go on to the next view here, number 4. So number 4, you have, you know, the different camera views here through your 360 camera. You see that? So if you want to see your passengers, and you also want to see the front, yeah, it's all here. You can change these individually, and then you have the side camera, and then you have the rear camera. So I think for these ones, you can like double tap just like that, and you can, you know, see the rear camera. You can double tap to just see the side, and then maybe double tap. No, you can't double tap. Oh yeah, you can double tap the 360 just to see the 360. You see that? Okay, so it's only scrolling left and right. You can't go up. You can't go up and down here. Okay. Now let's go to camera setting number 5. So we've got just the rear camera and the side camera. This is the one I like to drive with right now, just because you can see what's behind you, and you can also see what's on your side. So I live in the city, kind of downtownish, so there's a lot of pedestrians, a lot of bikers, etc. on the road that I'm sharing with. So I always want to get a nice view of my side. Say example, when I'm turning right on the intersection, I want to make sure that, you know, there's no biker coming towards me, and yeah, just nice to have this side view, especially when you're driving in the city. All right, so the next view we're going to go, which is last, number 6. So it's basically the same view, but you get one larger than the other. So again, you can swap these two just by swapping the plugs. But yeah, so you can have, you know, a larger side camera and a smaller rear camera, or a bigger rear camera and a smaller side camera. It's really up to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the different camera views here. Okay, so this also comes with a hardwire kit. So if you don't want to be running your cigarette lighter, you can hardwire it directly to your car. Okay, we've also got an extended cable. This is to mount your rear camera. We have the rear camera. It's got the AKEEYO logo on the side with some 3M adhesive, and it plugs through a micro USB. You can adjust this like so, and this will be for your rear camera. Let's just take a quick look at the lens here. And now we're going to test the rear camera. Okay, here's the rear camera, and we're going to connect the USB to this end here, just like that. And the plug into the mirror. And boom. And just like that, we have the rear camera as well. That's working. So now we have the side camera, rear camera, and the 360 camera. So we got one, 2, and 3 cameras all working. This is pretty cool. Look at that, check that out. So now that we know GPS and all 3 cameras are working, then we can go ahead and getting this install started. Let's go. To route the rear camera cable, what you're going to do is run it along the headliner, all the way along here. As you can see, this is my old previous camera cable, which I'm just in the process of pulling out, but basically you're going to run it through here, pull down the rubber seals here. We're going to go all the way to the back of the trunk, just along this line here. So you just pull it down like so, right? And you see my previous cable that was in here, it just drops. Because right in between here is a little gap, and you basically just hide that wire in between there. A little tip is that every time you install a rear camera, you should always work from the front to the back, because with all this cable here, you end up having less cable in the front because you know exactly how much you need in the front, and with the excess wire, basically you have so much space in the trunk to just kind of tuck it anywhere. Because front, what you're doing is you're working with whatever space is in the headliner. So imagine if you work from the back to the front, you could have, say half of these cables. It's gonna be really hard to tuck it all within, your headliner. Another tip, in order to keep a cable in the headliner from falling down, sometimes you stick it in there, but it will like pop down. What you can do is tie a little bit of a knot here, and that way when you stick it in, it'll kind of secure itself in there and won't fall out. Now we're working our way to the rear passenger door. And as you can see, we're gonna run along here, through this pillar here. And then along the top of those windows here, all the way here and into your trunk area. So you can either split one here. So for my car, I have it set so that the cable comes out through the hatch in the back. Your car may be a little bit different from mine, but I like it how my camera is inside the car compartment. That way, say for example, if my window is dirty, that I can just clean the window and I can see through. Otherwise, if your camera is mounted outside, for example, like right under the license plate, and if it gets dirty, you don't really have an option to clean it except for getting out. So I like to install my cameras inside the vehicle. So you can see here my previous wiring job. It's not easy. Basically, I had to feed this adapter through here, through this rubber tube, and down here. As you can see, this is like a pretty big adapter here, like pretty big plug here, and it's like hard. So now I'm just gonna have to rip it out, so pull it back out. It should be pretty easy. And then installing the AKEEYO one, which is way easier. Look at this. All right, so I just took out the old rear camera cable. As you can see, the black one is for the video data. Now, there's also a red cable here, so you're probably wondering, what is this red cable? The AKEEYO one also has a black cable, which supplies the data for the video, and a red cable as well. So you're probably wondering, what is the red cable? What this does is that once it detects there's power here, the rear camera will go into like a wide angle mode, right? So instead of just having a more narrow view of the back of your car, it's going to show you the whole view, so like a more fisheye. That way when you reverse, you have more to see, right? You can see basically all the way to the ground. And in order to supply this power, you would wire this to your rear reverse light. So anytime you put your car in reverse, you know how your rear reverse light will turn on. So for my case, this white light will turn on. So you would have to find that bulb, and you would wire it to that bulb, right? As I have done so. This is my previous one. So what I'm going to do is just connect the AKEEYO wire to my car's reverse light power wire, just like that. And now once that's done, every time I put it in reverse, it will get power. So remember how I told you to work from the front to the back when you're installing your rear camera cable. This is the reason why. You see how there's so much slack here left? Basically you have all this, and the beauty now is that all you have to do is tie this up and you have pretty much all the space to just tuck it in. All right, so now we're going to test to see if the rear camera still works now that it's plugged in to the reverse light. All right, so we have the rear camera right there. It's a little blurry right now because I haven't taken off the screen protector, as you can see, but it is working. So now we're going to put it in reverse and let's see what happens now that the power cable is connected. Boom. All right, so as you can see, it's working. The rear camera got a signal from the reverse light, so it basically changed the entire screen to the reverse, so you have a better view of when you're installing. So now we're going to put the car back into drive or park, and instantly, boom, we're back to normal viewing mode. So we still have the 360 and we've got the rear camera here. So all this view is fully customizable in the settings here, but I'm going to get to that later on in the video. So the rear camera is now installed inside the car. And you can see the mirror is the glass is quite dirty, but you can see if you look inside, the camera is right there. Now the advantage of this is that you can just, if it's dirty, all you have to do is clean the wiper, right? And then all of a sudden you have a clear image. You have a super stealth setup here. No one will even know that you have a camera there. All right, so it is that time where I'm going to be removing the screen protector. Alright, so I've been using the AKEEYO for about a month now, and just to give you kind of my overview of what I feel of this product. And okay, so this is just kind of like real time. I'm gonna show you guys in live, right, how it looks. So it starts off with your previous setting. So what I find is that the screen is a little kind of dim for what it is during the day. So as you can see right now, we are, it's daytime right now, and it's a little hard to see just because, the screen, this is actually the brightest setting of the screen. For me, it's okay, but I find that my wife was like, oh, it's not bright enough. I wish it could go a little brighter. For me, I mean, it's not too bad, but you guys can see it from here. Other than that, I find that I don't really look at the side view much at all, if anything. So normally what happens is I just double tap here, and then I'll just do the full back mode. I mean, it's just nice to know that it's recording on the side. Turns out that, with so many screens, I'm not really like looking at them because it's hard to really pay attention to it. But I like to just, turn it off most of the time, and knowing that, the right is actually being recorded is good enough for me. But other than that, I do wish, if you notice the boot up time, if it was a little faster, that would be nice, because sometimes I feel like I'm waiting for it a little bit too long, like especially when I want to put into reverse. I think the final thing is that I wish the 360 cam could kind of see more of me and the passengers, because you see how this right here is pretty low. Because it's so low and my car is small, it can only capture basically up to, you know, my cheeks. It can't go anywhere higher. I wish they had the camera was a little wider, just so that it can capture a little bit more. I mean, so that's why right now I have it face forward. The fact that it's face forward, it can capture like pretty much the entire windshield, left and right. So which is actually pretty good. It's not bad. I mean, I don't need it to film me and what's behind me, but maybe it may be required for some people who want to, you know, that's the reason for purchasing this. But yeah, I mean, at least for me, I feel like it doesn't really capture my face as much if I was to put it backwards. But right now, where I have it set, it's filming basically all of that, even the left and right windows. So it works for me. It's a pretty good product. I like it. Quality of the video, everything is there. With the 360 camera, honestly, filming like, you know, all my surroundings in the front here. It's a really good idea. For some of you, it might not be for everybody, but I pretty much, I do recommend using this 360 dash camera if you guys are in the market for it. It's a little different. It does capture more than, you know, your typical one where it just only has one camera lens in the front. It does go above and beyond the normal dash cams. It is a little bit more pricier, but you get, you know, 1, 2, and 3 cameras. You can't really beat that. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye.